this School of Hard Knocks fight is an amateur bout in the 185-pound weight class and is brought to you by D&D Oil Field Service, our official cage movers for the School of Hard Knocks 18. And now, let's meet the fighters. Fighting out of Edmonton.
But not everybody has to be a martial artist.
This is
KB Bhullar
KB
he's
Bhullar.
going to be crossing right behind us.
So again, KB Bhullar makes his way down to the cage. He's got his gym mates in his corner. Justin Evans coming down to cage side, as well as Justin LaFrance. Both of them coming down to cage side to support their gym partner, KB Bhullar. And again, the crowd noise behind us, incredible for this fighter as he makes his way into the cage to make his amateur debut, Jeremy.
Yeah, and he's 20 years old. He's 6'4" at 185 pounds. You look at some of those big promotions there. Those guys who are 6'4", they're not fighting at 185. He's very, very tall fighter. I'm sure he's going to be using his reach against his opponent, Alistair Noble from Knuckles MMA here in Calgary.
Fought judo and taekwondo, has been training for the last 6 years to make his MMA debut.
And his opponent, he's coming to you out of Calgary, Alberta. This is Alistair Noble.
And you can hear the Knuckles contingent of fans here cheering for Alistair Noble, who comes to us out of England originally. Says he moved to Canada as an economic migrant. Said the recession left him with no work in England, so off to Canada he comes, and he's been here for 3 years, 2 of those spent in Knuckles' gym.
Well, he doesn't want to go on the dole, because we know that that's not a very good thing from all those old English books that we've read. But Alistair Noble coming over from England, he cut 12 pounds for this, but 2 years ago, he weighed over 250 pounds. So you're looking at a guy who, 2 years ago was 65 pounds heavier. He is part of a great gym in Knuckles MMA, again with Max Marin. I'm looking for this to be a really good fight. Both these guys look well-rounded. We'll see if KB Bhullar can hold off Alistair Noble, a bit of a more solid fighter. But again, with KB with that reach advantage, you never know what's going to happen.
So both these fighters say that they look to work an intelligent game plan. So we may see a more thought-out game plan from these guys rather than just swinging wildly.
And we're going to go to the dances in the cage.
And now, the official fighter introductions. Fighting out of the Build 360 blue corner in his amateur debut. He's 20 years old and stands 6 feet 4 inches tall. He weighed in at 183 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Legends MMA from Edmonton. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, KB Bhullar!
And in the Two Amigos and Company red corner, he's 33 years old, stands 6 feet 1 inches tall. He weighed in at 186 pounds, fighting out of Knuckles MMA in Calgary. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Alistair Noble.
This bout will be contested under the amateur rule, and the referee in charge of the Hard Knocks action is Len Coivista.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is an amateur contest. Respect the rules, follow my instructions. Above all else, you must actively protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves now and come out ready at the bell.
So both these fighters getting set to go. Noble in the red corner in the black trunks, in the tighter black trunks. KB Bhullar out of the blue corner as they meet at the center of the cage. Touch gloves, and we are underway.
Yeah, you can tell the difference between these two fighters and a lot of the fighters we've watched before in their technique, and that is a great shot. The timing is good. That's exactly what I was talking about needed to happen earlier on with Justin Evans. But nice catch there by Alistair Noble, working that guillotine. But again, KB Bhullar proving that he's a smart fighter, doesn't try and force it, just tries to get into a good position again.
And it was a solid takedown defense, too, from Noble, who slips there as Bhullar landed a punch off balance while throwing a kick. But it didn't look like a knockdown from here. Looked like more of a slip, but nevertheless, Noble finds himself underneath with Bhullar in his guard.
Yeah, well, he's got him in the butterfly guard there. It's something that certain people are really good at, and some people are just no good at it at all. I don't know if he just happened to land it or if it's something that he likes to work. The butterfly guard allows you to get up a little bit easier. It, however, doesn't protect you, and it looks like Alistair Noble switched to a standard guard to be able to defend, so now he's going to have to try and hip escape here as opposed to kicking off with his feet.
KB Bhullar continues to sit on top. Drops a shoulder into the chest of Noble. Again, no strikes to the head of a downed opponent here in the amateur fights under the Calgary Combative Sports Commission. So we'll continue to see a softening up here when fighters get to the ground here. It's looking for the opening, trying to find the submission. Alistair Noble doing a good job on the guard, but Bhullar continues to land strikes now to the midsection, and we've seen earlier tonight how effective that can be.
Yeah, strikes to the midsection. You know, if a guy like Alistair Noble, who's fairly well built, I don't think that's going to be able to tap him out, but you never know what happens. And this posturing up here is very good strategy by KB Bhullar. He's got Alistair Noble's head up against the cage, which is not where he wants to be, Alistair Noble. If he had his way, he'd try and put it so his feet were against the cage so he'd be able to escape with his head. It makes it so that the target is less moving. Now, we're not striking the head, but if your head can't move, your body can't move either.
Again, good work landing blows to the midsection, although good defense there on the last couple from Alistair Noble, as those didn't get through, landing on both the forearm and the elbow.
Yeah, KB Bhullar has to watch out, because if Alistair Noble sits up and he's going to try for a Kimura, if he's able to sit up, and that's what he's just trying to do right now. If I were KB Bhullar, I would do exactly what he just did, which was shift his hips back and make it so that Alistair Noble has to lie flat on his back again, keeping his head to the cage, keeping control, and keeping the constant moving going. This is very smart fighting by KB Bhullar.
And KB Bhullar told me that at the weigh-ins last night when I asked him, is he a stand and bang fighter? Is he a ground and pound fighter? Is he a submission fighter? He said, I'm an intelligent fighter. Wherever the cage takes me, I will go, and I'm prepared a game plan for that scenario.
Yeah, KB Bhullar dominated that round, and it was unfortunately a little bit of a slip that caused him to fall, or at least we think it was a slip. You know, from our vantage point, that's what we saw. But KB Bhullar able to keep him down. Now, different from what other fighters have done, KB Bhullar took his time, made sure that his blows landed, and did some damage. And apparently now we have two ring girls showing off the cards, which is kind of nice for us.
Ring girls in training is what's going on here in Hard Knocks as we look to expand our stable of beautiful ladies to carry the ring cards around.
And I got distracted there, but I'll continue on here. KB Bhullar, again, he landed good solid shots, and he took his time making sure that they were constant. You know, if you land 100 shots and then do nothing, the referee is going to call you up. If you land a shot, then a shot, then a shot, then a shot, it's going to keep you down. And you look at a guy like KB Bhullar, very smart. Hopefully Alistair Noble doesn't have unlucky go again and slip, and we'll see a little bit more of a competitive second round. And there go the Edmonton fans again.
The fans going for KB Bhullar as he comes out of his corner. Alistair Noble fighting out of Canuckles in the red corner, coming out with the full black trunks and a flying attempt across the cage. Looked like he was going to go for a flying knee, thought better of it, and a big punch there landed by Bhullar. That's no slip. Noble got caught, and he went down.
Yeah, and again, with the amateur rules, you know, if you get caught like this, the smartest thing you can do is fall down. KB Bhullar says, no, let's get this back standing again. We'll see if that ends up costing him.
Content to throw punches standing is Bhullar. Noble a little shyer coming in now, although he starts to move forward again.
The one thing that concerns me with Alistair Noble is as he's throwing his kicks, his hands are dropping to give that kick a little bit momentum. You must, with that offside hand, cover up your face so that you don't get counterpunched. And hopefully Alistair Noble's corner, Max Marin, obviously will see that and he'll correct that right away.
Throwing a knee to the midsection was Noble, and another knee to the midsection there. Those can add up over time, but thus far KB Bhullar's done the more effective striking and now has Noble up against the cage.
Yeah, Noble right now is putting a little bit of pressure on and trying for a little bit of a hip toss. He needs to be above the elbow there with his left hand, and he is trying to work there, and he needs to get his hips through if he's going to want to throw. He's abandoning that now and trying a different form of defense. Again, throwing a nice knee there and now putting him into the cage.
Another knee to the midsection, and that works in favor of Noble, who may be looking for the takedown here, softening up the legs. Another knee to the leg there, continuing to work up against the cage. KB Bhullar may be trying for an arm-in guillotine there, but does let it go. And another knee to the midsection of Bhullar from Noble, who is throwing a lot of knees here up against the cage, continuing to do damage to KB Bhullar.
Well, the thing with Alistair Noble is because of that first, the beginning of that second round there where KB Bhullar caught him and took him down and then let him up, he's got to do a lot of extra work to be able to win this round, because every single time he does something, the judges are thinking back to that time where he got dropped. So, you know, we hope Alistair Noble, again, nice big leg kick there. Those are having effect, but there, Alistair Noble catching it, and now KB Bhullar going back.
KB Bhullar doing a very effective job with the leg kicks there to the outside of the knee, and tries another one, fakes the punch, throws the kick, and Alistair Noble gets on him. And we'll see what Alistair Noble does from this position as KB Bhullar is down and waiting for Alistair Noble to come in. He does, and ends up in the half guard.
Now, you look at KB Bhullar, who's making his amateur debut, and he had a very good first round, and he had a very good beginning to the second round, and it almost looked like at the end he was being overconfident. He wasn't throwing those things as crisply as he was at the beginning of the fight and the beginning of this round. I'm concerned that there might be some overconfidence issues here with KB Bhullar, who may have won the first two rounds, but he has got to stay crisp, because as we know in MMA, all you have to do is hit that off button once and you are down.
And that second round may have been closer than you thought. Another ring girl in training getting the tour around the cage from our experts as they make their way around the cage. KB Bhullar, that second round may be closer than initially thought. You do have the early knockdown, but from that point on, it was Noble holding Bhullar up against the cage, throwing knees, throwing strikes. A very close round to call here in round number 2, and certainly a lot closer than the first round. And the question for me is going to be what's happening in the corner right now of Alistair Noble, whose coach was standing on the sidelines, asking him, why aren't you hitting him? Why aren't you hitting him? Hit him in the body. Gets it. You need to score these points. You need to get on top of your opponent. And Alistair Noble not responding to those commands initially. Did throw a couple punches towards the end of the second round there, but he may need to come out and finish this fight here in the third to get the victory.
Yeah, Max Marin's a very smart coach, so he's going to have a game plan coming in. But again, you look at the eyes of the judges. The judges are swayed by big moments, and two big moments happened there. The first one was the knockdown. The second one was the leg kick that it looked like Alistair Noble did not like, and those things would stick in my mind. To me, it's two rounds to Bhullar right now. But again, I'm not a judge, so we'll see what happens.
And we have seen weirder things here in the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship when the score goes to the judges, as happens anywhere you see MMA contested.
Well, it all depends on the angle. You know, one judge sees a good solid hit to the face. The other judge just sees, you know, a glancing blow. And, you know, that makes a big difference. So that's why the judges sit all around the cage. And, yeah, we'll see. Again, it looks like KB Bhullar is just being very relaxed. And I think that's the last thing you want to do. But, hey, that's a great takedown there. You can see on the left leg of Alistair Noble, huge welt
on the leg of Noble there, and obviously those leg kicks doing some damage. Bhullar walking Noble over to the cage and into his corner as he is again on top here in round number 3.
Yeah, on top, and looks like Alistair Noble is getting some striking in there. Again, with his head up against the cage, Alistair Noble's in trouble. He needs to start hip escaping and trying to get his head away from that cage so that he can get out. The problem is there's a lot of things, and that's what Max Marin is saying. Push him off, push him off, push him off. Get your feet in there, push him off, because his hips are high, but he needs to get his head away from that cage.
KB Bhullar continuing to rain punches to the delight of the crowd here in round number 3 as KB Bhullar and Alistair Noble both make their amateur debut. Elbow to the body there from Bhullar.
Yeah, and Bhullar again maintaining that top position and being smart about it. You know, he's not going down and raining 1,000 punches and then getting tired and getting called up. He's controlling his opponent on the ground, and that's important. But referee's going to stand him up anyway.
Referee standing him up. Now, I thought KB Bhullar was doing enough on the ground to look like he was working, but not according to Len Koivisto, who stands them back up, and Alistair Noble has just a few moments left here in the 3rd round. If he's going to win this fight, he's going to need to finish.
Yeah, he needs to really push it forward. And again, he's dropping the knees. I think this might be a little too late for him, but, you know, we'll see. Again, all it takes is one punch in MMA. But he needs to go for broke here. He needs to start coming forward. He needs to drop the safe fighting and go. You know, he's behind. I think he has to know that he is behind. Nice leg kick.
Another big leg kick right on that welt spot. And you got to know that that's a target for KB Bhullar as he continues to go forward.
Yeah, he's just finding that one spot. Now we're down to 10 seconds left. If I were Alistair Noble, I'd be throwing. But it looks like KB Bhullar is going to win to the delight of all the people he brought down here.
So that is the end of the 3rd round. We'll go to the judges' scorecards as KB Bhullar and Alistair Noble make their amateur debut. An impressive performance from both of these guys as they get in their amateur debut.
Ladies
and
and
again,
gentlemen, while we wait
lots
for the
of time
official
to
decision,
learn
Hard
about the
Knocks
game
would like
here
to
in the
thank
amateur
Ken
fights.
Goldade and
and that's the
D&D
important thing
Oilfield
about
Services
being
for
in the amateur
transporting the
ranks.
Hard
I
Knocks
think that
stage all
Alistair
over
Noble's gonna
Western
go back,
Canada this fall.
and
Your
he's
support
going
of
to
local sports
really
throughout
learn
Western
about,
Canada is
about why
appreciated by
KB
Hard
Bhullar
Knocks
won this
as
fight.
well as the entire Calgary community.
He was the more aggressive fighter at the end of the day, and I think Alistair Noble, I think he has too much left in the tank at the end of this fight. I think he should have come out a little faster. It was a tough fight, but we are going to go to the decision, and you never know what happens in mixed martial arts. Judges see things a whole different gamut of ways. But, yeah, KB Bhullar from Legends MMA in Edmonton, Alberta. Of course, Alistair Noble here from Calgary and Canuckles MMA, 185 pounds. We had a great fight, and we're going to come to the official decision as soon as they add it up. Don't forget, hardknocksfighting.com is the web address if you want to find out. Of course, you can go to Twitter at HKFighting and follow the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship. Just following on Twitter now on people that have been mentioning, again, Thinking Atheist is Josh Harkama talking about the large fan
Ladies
gallery
and gentlemen,
by
the
KB Bhullar.
official
We have the
decision
official decision.
is in.
We'll go to Jaden Nance.
Brought to you by D&D Oilfield Services. The winner by unanimous decision in the blue corner, KB Bhullar.
KB Bhullar with his amateur debut and first
KB
win.
will
Go to
get a
Ryan
moment of
Valentine
your
in the
time.
cage.
Now, we'll just look at the camera here so everybody can see your face. Walk us through the fight, a solid effort in the first round. You got a lot of time on top. spent a lot of time on top through the whole fight. Walk us through it.
You know what? It was kind of just hard to adapt to the amateur rules at first, but I was thinking, you know, in the guard, I was trying to throw punches, but it's kind of hard when you can't throw the head. But all in all, I think it went pretty okay. I mean, third round, he got me with some good knees. I felt him, and I was like, I got to get this guy out of the ground or something.
Now, you think you might next time want to bring some fans along with you to cheer you on?
I love you all. Thank you so much for coming. I love all of you. Thank you so much.
Now, obviously, your coaches in your corner had a lot to do with your success tonight. Run us through your coaches.
You know, Ryan McGivery, UFC veteran, Jared McCollum, also a very good fighter. My little brother, he's going to be a really good fighter one day. That guy's only 16 years old. But you know what? Everybody at Legends, I want to thank them all so much. Big part of the win. You know, just training hard with all of these guys are machines. So yeah.
All right, thanks, KB.
Let's hear it again for your winner,